Hello everyone, Cindy here with Monarch Mom DIY. Excited to be here for my first Memory Making Monday with Creative Memories and Monarch Mom DIY. We went on a backpacking trip this past weekend and I am going to show you the quick and easy way to get your photos into albums. This is a Creative Memories 6.75 by 10 inch cover set and set of pages. I love these flex hinge albums. And then I am using a paper pack called Deeper in the Woods and also the stickers that go along with it. Now, a lot of times people get these things and they're like, what do I do with it? This is called a fast album formula. I am going to show you today. This is how I'm going to cut all 6 of my sheets of designer paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose 6 sheets that I want to use out of this package of 12. These are double-sided papers, so we're going to have lots of variety with what we can decorate our pages with. I love this fast formula because you don't have to think. It tells you exactly how to cut each of your pages and then how to put them down on the blank album pages before you put your photos on. So I'm going to keep this formula up here in the top corner. I will also post a link to this PDF. So for each of my 12 by 12 sheets of paper, I am first of all going to cut it from top to bottom at 6 3/4 inches. So you can see at the top there, I'm lining it up at 6 3/4 and slicing it. Now with this left hand piece, we're going to turn it and we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 5 inches. And then with the last 2 inches of the paper, we're going to cut that in half for 2 pieces that are 1 inch. So that takes up all 12 inches of that first, little bit more than half of the sheet of paper. Now with the other piece, we're going to cut this in half at 2 5/8 inches. And we'll have 2 pieces that will be exactly the same, still 12 inches long. So we're going to turn it sideways and cut it at 10 inches. This is going to give us 1 piece that's 10 inches and 1 piece that is 2 inches. And we'll do that to both of those pieces. I'm just following the directions on the graphic there. And I'm going to do this, like I said, to all 6 of my pieces of designer paper. So I'm going to speed that up and maybe put a little music with it. Now that I have all of my paper cut, I'm going to turn to the next page in the directions, and it's going to give me little sketches of how I can lay out the papers that we cut to decorate very minimally each of our album pages. So the way we cut our paper, it gave us 4 different sizes of pieces. These are what's called D. These were those 2-inch pieces that we cut off of the strips at the very end. And this is like our title page. So once I get them laid out using whichever side of the papers I want, we're just going to adhere these down to our album page with a little bit of tape runner. Then we'll flip the page and we'll go to sketch number 2. This shows that I'm going to use 2 of the largest rectangles. That is piece A. And then we're going to put the strip B across the top of it. So I am literally just choosing which designs of the paper I want to use and just following the sketches to put them down on the album pages. Now the directions do say you'll only be able to make one title page and then one of the ending pages, but then you'll be able to make 2 sets of all the other sketches to fill your 13 album pages. And here for sketch number 3, we're going to use 2 of the letter B pieces again and 2 of the letter A, just attaching them to our page in a different way. Moving on to sketch number 4, we just need 2 of the large rectangles and we're going to put them on the pages opposite each other like this. Sketch number 5, we're going to use 2 of the long strips. This is piece letter C, and we're going to attach them on the outside edges of the pages. Sketch number 6, we need 2 more of the long strips that are letter C and then 2 of the small strips that are letter B. And again, I'm just following the directions on my sheet. So C is going to go on the inside edges now and be like that at the top and then the bottom. And sketch number 7, we're going to use 2 more of the long strips C and we're going to attach those down the center of each of our pages. Now, once we've done 2 through 7, we're going to go back and do 2 through 7 again. So I'm going to speed this part up. And then after 7, the second time, we will do the ending page. And here our ending page is going to look just like our title page with the 6 small rectangles, 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom. Now, this album could probably hold another whole set of these pages. The pages here come in sets of 13. I think you could easily make this twice and fit it all in one album cover. Now that we've put all the paper on the pages, let's just flip through them. You can see when you use paper all from one set, it coordinates together nicely. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort the photos from our backpacking trip this weekend, just kind of like by which day it was, which campsite we were at. I can kind of tell by the clothes people are wearing. So you're going to want to sort your photos. I have 64 photos here, and I think I used about 60 of them on these 13 album pages, so 26 sides. I think that's pretty good. Some of them you'll see we will trim a little bit smaller so that we can fit more on the page. But go ahead and sort out your photos. Now, I did not show this part because it took a little bit of thought, but I did kind of go through my picture piles and decide which ones were going to go together on which pages. Here's my title page, and I'm just going to show you here in not so much sped up my first set of pages here, just trimming the pictures so that I can fit them nicely on the page and get out any unnecessary things in the page. This is like our backpack that I had all my stuff in. This is all the water that we carried, as well as we each had a 3-liter water bladder in our backpack. And then once you have your pictures laid out where you want them and cut down to size, you can stick them down on your pre-decorated pages. So here's our first 2-page spread. I'm going to go through the rest of attaching the photos to the pages, quite sped up and with some background music. Okay, we're getting close to that last page. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that process, just kind of how I trimmed the photos and then laid them out on the pages once they were decorated. Now, this, like I said, is a flex hinge album. This is how you add pages. You're going to remove the back cover. The strap is always longer. You want to do it on the back. And then the strap, and then you're going to start adding your pages. I just do them one at a time, starting with your first page and continuing to place them on the staples until you get to your last page. Then once you get that last page on there, you're going to put the strap on and then put the back cover on open. You're going to put the strap through the closest hole down and then kind of holding up the back cover, come back up through the other hole, pulling that strap not too tight, but you don't want it to have a lot of gap between the staples. Once you have the pages in, you can slip that spine back on and voila. If I want to add more pages, no problem. I'll just reverse that process. And here is our very simply decorated. Now I will go back in and do some journaling. And then if I feel I want to, I can add some of the stickers that go along with the paper as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this process video of my memory making album from my backpacking trip. I will put links for the products that I used in the description box. I'd love to hear your comments on what you thought of this video, and we'll see you next time. Take care.